the connection we're making on social media, is that creating I have positive connections on social media. Like I send funny reels. I have little splashes of some of my favorite people that I will connect with. Is that a real connection?
We still get some feel-good hormones from social media. It's just not the same quota of oxytocin, dopamine that we get from that in-person, in real life connection. So if we're looking at a hybrid or remote working society where you're getting lower quota of touch, and touch is a massive salve to pain in the body, makes us more resilient, all these other things. So imagine within a year versus pre-pandemic, how much less in real life connection we're having. And then let's add to that substituting with digital. It's not a solution. It's a use in tandem with, but it doesn't mean that they're not real if you end up meeting with those people. Or like you and I live on the other side of the world and we met in real life, but we established trust in real life. Like I was like, okay, Dr. Mindy's legit. It's amazing. I was like, she's legit.
I can trust her.
Yeah, she's awesome. And then, we have a bit of things in the DM, but this has now led to a deeper conversation. So I absolutely think it can be used incredibly. For example, my mum is ill. To be able to video with her, wouldn't have been able to do that 20 years ago. I lived in 4 countries before the age of 30. So I've got some of my intimate connections in Switzerland and Dubai. And so it allows us to have video chat. But it's not a substitute for. It doesn't mean at all that they're not real. And I think they are those connections that you are making online, where you're having the real voice notes in the DM, direct message on Instagram. They are a huge blessing of this technology. Like, I'm not anti-tech at all, but I think we need boundaries. And the only way we get boundaries is self-connection. It's the only way you're going to know if it's too much time online. It all comes back to that.
Yes. Well, if you don't feel good about yourself, you're not going to want to connect with people in real life. So, which leads me to my next question, because I have a lot of people that I have different ways I connect with them. I'll text them, I'll message them on Instagram, maybe I'll have a phone call with them or a Zoom call with them. And then there becomes a point where my brain goes, I care about you so much that I need to see you in person now. And I have a couple of people like that in my life right now that I love so much. And I've actually never met them in real life. And I'm going through and making sure that each one of these people, I'm actually either going to their area or finding out when we're in the same area, because I have decided that the ultimate form of satisfaction for me when it comes to human connection is in person. And that all the other pieces of connection are nice and they're fun, but they're not really deepening that relationship I want with some of the amazing people in my life. And this has become and this might be the 54-year-old brain and the empty nester and I just closed my clinic, but I'm gotten so clear on this that I'm trying to open my schedule up so that I have space and time to go see these people, because many of my closest friends don't live in my area. And so I want to make sure we go and have, time together because they mean something to me. And that's a new realization that I just had, that is in person is the most satisfying.
Science backs it up. So they say digital connection, it is a form of connection, but is the junk food version of connection. It tastes good. It's immediate, it's accessible, but it doesn't satiate us chemically the way the in-person stuff. So that's why it feels so good.
Yeah, amazing. Amazing. So when I hear you talk about how the science backs that up, there's this part of me that's like, social media, our phones, Zoom, it has all become a disconnector. Like, we think it's connecting us, but there are so many times I would go see a friend, but I get lazy and I'm like, I'm just going to text her. And I don't always take that extra step to clear my schedule to make sure I can see this person. So this has been a new awareness for me. So for those people listening, what I want you to really emphasize that you said is the ultimate way to get the health benefit of connection is in person. And what I think would be helpful as a society right now is if we all stop being like, I'm so busy, I've got things to do, and that we stopped and prioritized human connection with the people we loved. And if we did that, paint a picture for me. What do you think the world would look like? Like, how would that change? What would that change? And how would that create a society that we've never seen?
Well, it's already happening with some young kids in Amsterdam that created something called offline events, and they charge like €5 and they choose beautiful cafes around the city, and people go, they bring whatever activity they're doing, a book, knitting, whatever, and they go and they just sit without their phones for 2 to 3 hours, and they're doing stuff, but they're also connecting with each other at the same time. So it becomes like the old salons, you know, where there used to be conversation salons hundreds of years, like 150 years ago in Paris, where people would engage over conversation without being mediated by that thing. I think we're seeing a huge turn away in the younger generation because of the loneliness issue and them knowing it's to do with this device that they've grown up with. I would love to see a world where we came together. Do you know how cities used to be planned once we stopped being nomadic around the central piazza or the mosque or the church or whatever, right? And so we would go to the market square on the weekend and we would buy things from the market together. Some cities still have this. I live in Singapore, not so much. Here, we have the opposite, you know where you said you actually, because of where you live, have to get in the car and go somewhere. I live in a place with really high population density where we have another problem, and this might resonate to some people listening, where you're surrounded by people, right? But it doesn't mean you're in connection with people. So you're siloed, we're alone together. So the idea would be that we are together. So people are seen, people are asking questions of each other. There is a witty repartee going on. And we are sharing in experiences together in real life, in person. We're not performing on this.